Hello. We are back with, I want to say another, we've already had a few cosplay panels. We're back with another cosplay panel featuring the ever so lovely Seliph. This will be a panel that's purely in character, so considering the trauma I just experienced at the hands of House Chalfie, please, everyone, give any questions you have or comments you have to Seliph here. Okay.
Secret of something. What does that even mean? What's something? I'm confused. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to be a little bit graceful at me. I don't understand lingo.
Sigurd of the something of House... No, I've messed it up. Sigurd of the something of Chalfie. I struggled on what the something was.
Oh, gotcha.
I forgot the word.
It's Chalfie.
You know?
Duchy of Chalfie, yeah.
Chalfie. I forgot Duchy.
Yeah. I'm the future. Well, not the future. I am the Duchy of Chalfie now. Or I guess the King of Gronville, you know, it's
I was gonna say, I think
complicated.
you've gone a bit above just Chalfie at this point.
Yeah. Just the whole country of Gronville, no pressure. You know, it's kind of nice to take a little bit of time away, not wearing a bunch of armor today. I'm just like, I have a little blouse on, keeping it casual. So much nicer than having to wear all that armor, trust me. It gets hot.
So if anyone has any I see people are typing, but if anyone has any questions...
Oh my goodness. I'm a little nervous.
Okay, we just have comments of All Hail the Emperor. Is that the title?
I hope I could do you guys justice. I really hope so. Yeah. No pressure. I'm like, okay, so I'm Emperor. It's fine.
It's fine.
At least I'm not a puppet emperor, right?
Well,
no shade to anybody in particular. Not. No. We took care of the Lepturians. Yeah.
What would you say was the most stressful part of getting to where you are now?
Oh my god. Okay. So when I first started, I was terrified of the fact of going into battle, and I was honestly so used to just training with Shannon and Wei-Fei and the rest of my, the people I was living the Abyss with. I was just like, oh my god, you mean I have to kill them? You mean I can't just swing and have the other person retreat? I have to end lives. Great. Okay. I was pretty nervous and pretty scared, and I definitely didn't cry myself to sleep. No, when I first killed somebody, that was scary. Well, that was just, that was one thing. And then, of course, having to be in charge of an entire army and everyone's needs, and I didn't realize how expensive food could get for everybody, and how expensive, cavalry, everything. It just Oh my god, even renting out the castles we were able, well, not even renting, because we took over, we conquered, but even
renting
so,
in that situation.
is it renting? I don't know. It was conquering, but you had to maintain the places that you were at. There's a mysterious cat here. There were cats in Asker too. I didn't have any emotional support cats in Asker, or in Yggdrasil for that matter, but looks like I have one here. That's very nice. But no, it was just, everything was so expensive, and then, just had the pressure of going in an army and doing battle.
Well, if things were so expensive, how did you afford them? Where did you get the funds for such things?
So, don't be mad. Don't be too mad. But we had to do what we had to do. We had a thief. And had a little bit of inheritance. Just a little bit. But even so, it was just... yeah. We also got funds from winning battles, but even so, it was just... I didn't like to spend too much. But unfortunately, weapons upkeep and everything, on top of that, you run out of gold really quickly. Really quickly.
Well, in
fact, my tier thing's in the shop right now because I'm out of gold.
It seems like there's a fan of your thief in the comments appreciating that Patty got a mention.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, Patty's pretty nice. I was honestly pretty nervous when she decided to join the army. I was like, a thief? And she's like, well, it's for the good of the army, I promise. And I said, okay, fair enough. Pretty much.
And the surprise of the thief having random holy blood?
Yeah, that was a little weird. A lot of people with holy blood, actually. I'm just like, okay, dude, we're getting the band back together. Why is there that mystery? Oh my god.
Well, you see, the Asker cat just really wants us to say hi and to know that they're here.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
So we've been asked where your favorite areas in Isaac were.
Oh. Honestly, Tirnanog is pretty nostalgic to me. So, I do like Tirnanog quite a bit. But yeah, that's pretty much my favorite. I didn't really explore too much. I didn't have a lot of chance to go exploring, and even now I still don't, unfortunately. I'm just kind of like, well, you know what? I gotta be safe one way or another.
Yeah, the kind of child soldiers going to war doesn't really allow for much sightseeing along the way, huh?
Yeah. No, not really.
Oh!
Unfortunately not.
A drawing of Seliph and the cat?
Oh my god, that's so cute! Oh my god! Oh my god,
like
it's
there's
the
an
Asker
artist
cat.
about.
Yeah.
Who is deciding
that is
to
really
paint
cool.
your likeness alongside your new feline friend.
Yes.
And we've been asked as well how things are just going in Asker as a whole.
Honestly, they're a lot more peaceful, so I can appreciate that. And I do kind of like the approach when you're in battle. You don't kill the enemy, you just kind of... Well, I mean, you do kill the enemies, but when you get, killed, you just retreat, you get out of there. And I'm like, okay, this is a lot nicer. And there's a lot of leisurely activities to do, and I'm just like, I like it. And I get to meet my dad, like, hello, that's amazing. Well, and then I think somebody was also saying something about Yunaka's aided accessory. I did get to meet Yunaka. She was pretty interesting, I must say. Yeah. Also, you get to wear cute accessories. I might have to ask the summoner if I can have that cat accessory.
So what that would be nice. Are you interested in?
I would love to have a cat on my head. I hope it's not too heavy, though.
Well, I
Otherwise,
feel like the cat
it might be distracting.
May just be willing to...
Yeah, I think so. I don't know where that cat went, but I'm sure they'll be back.
You've also been asked, like, which people have you been socializing in Asker? Have you been sticking... Obviously, you've probably spoke to Sigurd, but, like, have you been speaking to other people? Have you been maybe meeting people from other realms? What kind of people have you been
yeah,
speaking
definitely.
to?
I mean, a lot of people from my world, of course, are equivalents to my world. Not everyone's explicit from my world. I've also encountered a little bit with other versions of myself, and I'm just like, oh, okay, this is very interesting. One of them has a really fancy cape. The other's got like the little scion attire, which I thought was cool. I wish we could have that back in my world, but maybe I could make some arrangements. I've also been encountering a lot of people from Phoneland because I just think I don't know why they gravitate towards me. It's kind of weird.
Well,
been encountering a lot.
Considering you went
just
from
so many
a
different
child
worlds.
starting a war to ruling all of Granville, I think a lot of people gravitate towards you.
Yeah, that explains it, doesn't it?
How is your dad and like the rest of your family all doing? Either in Asker, in the case of Sigurd, or
right
elsewhere.
I mean, obviously only in Asker because of my dad, but he's doing pretty good, I would say. In that case, I did get to meet his ghost before I ended up conquering the entirety of Granville, so that was pretty nice. A little scary, not gonna lie. I was like, Dad? Dad, is that you? Dad? But, yeah. I would say everybody else is doing pretty good, too. Ares is going back and forth from Augustria to Granville, which is pretty nice. Julia's just, she's chilling at the castle doing her thing.
Julia's just chilling.
Just chilling, yeah. I mean, maybe more than chilling, I'm not gonna lie. I'm just like, I don't know how to rule a country. Should I be the one in charge? Can you be the one in charge? And unfortunately, the dude's gotta take charge, so here I am.
We've got a question on how you feel about Ares. Specifically, they heard that he attempted to clash with you on your first meeting, but then relented once you told him your side of the story, such as Lord Eldegon's relationship with Lord Sigurd. Did Ares ever soften up at any point?
Oh, he definitely softened up. I was pretty scared of him at first, not gonna lie. I was just like, oh man, this dude that looks just like Sigurd's friend that I was told so much about from other people is coming after me. What is going on? I gotta clear the air. That was a little nervous, because if I would have misspoke, like, at all, I would have been mincemeat. But I'm glad we cleared up. He's honestly showed a lot of softer sides. I was quite surprised, actually. And it was around my approach to Thracia, yes. I'm not sure how I'm seeing all these little words on this magic window here, but I am. How does it work? But
there's also been a question of what are your plans when you get back from your vacation in Asker? Vacation maybe in quotation marks in Asker. Do you have plans when you get back home?
I didn't consent to this vacation. I just showed up one day. I was whisked from my bed. I was like, oh yes, I'm going to bed at 9 p.m. tonight. How great. Alright, let's go. And then I was suddenly in Asker, and I was like, what is this place? Who are all of these people? And now I'm in this other realm, in this living quarters with these little pets, and I'm just very confused, because this is the third time I have been whisked away from my own world. Second time. I'm like, you know what? Third time's a charm. I'll be back in my world, right? Maybe I'll be back in Asker. It's 50-50, but honestly, I like it. It's peaceful. I don't have to worry about my kingdom responsibilities, because honestly, I don't even know how I'm going to approach it. But I think all the advice and counseling I'm getting from people in Asker will probably be fairly helpful, if and when I go back.
Oh, what was that, sorry?
Oh. If and ever I go back. I don't know if I'm going to go back. I don't know.
It's gonna be a
whatever fate has for me. It's pretty scary. Like, can I go home before I'm, like, old?
Are there versions of your friends and loved ones with you in Asker that are the same ones from your original world, or are they all slightly different?
Honestly, I'm not really sure. I mean, I would assume that there's similar versions of like Julia, Larce, Skahak. Haven't met Lana, which is really weird. Couple of those versions, but other than that, I feel like almost everybody else, like, well, obviously from a prior generation, I don't know if they're from my world. I don't know if not. Maybe they were summoned after they died. But you know, as far as people in my world, I would say anyone that looks kind of how I remember them in Yggdrasil, I would say is probably from my world. I'm not 100% sure, though. It just kind of seems like our stories line up a little bit, so perhaps it's hard to tell.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And there's another question here on another mysterious tablet of text. If you're going to, a question of if you're going to take anything with you back from Aska when you go back home.
Ooh. You know, I might have to take that cat accessory. I don't know how, but I'm gonna have to. Once I get the cat accessory, I will take the cat accessory back.
Yeah, immediately. The cat was suggested. Yeah.
Also, sometimes in the cafeteria they make good food, so I might have to at least take the recipes back. I'm not sure how well the food's gonna preserve, so it might just have to be some of the recipes, you know, from other worlds. Because I do like trying new things, but you know, sometimes I end up with a plate of mush, and I'm just like, okay, what am I looking at? And other times I'm like, wow, very impressed. Like, I can't even cook this good. Not great, but I can make a decent survival dish at least.
As I said, there's the big difference, I guess, between a survival dish and getting to eat for luxury. And at times, Aska definitely gets to do the latter.
Yeah, no, for sure. I grew up on survival dishes for a very long time, so when I was presented with my first castle buffet, I was like, where did you guys get the funds for this? And they're just like, we got them. And I was like, okay, cool. Whoa, this is really good. It was a transformative experience. And so when they had that cafeteria in Aska, I was like, I gotta hop on.
Oh,
I've got to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
So I want to take those recipes back.
There's a few other questions here about your time in Aska. Do you have opinions on the people that are from Fortuna Entertainment or from Tokyo, as they would say, from a very different kind of world than practically the rest of you all there?
Honestly, I haven't interacted too much, but with the few interactions I've had, I have to say they're interesting. I mean, a lot of the stuff they talk about is pretty confusing, like all these like agencies and microwaves and stuff, and I'm just like, what are you talking about? It's just I don't understand half the stuff they're saying, but they look cool. You know, they're nice. They're not mean or anything, so I can't really complain.
Must be a whole other like.
Also, microphones. I'm like, what is this? It's like, why are so many micro things? What does this even mean?
It's so small nowadays.
But they're so big, and they have like almost like emblems behind them is the best way I can describe it. And I'm just like, what is going on? I don't understand.
There's a question here about what are your favorite festivals in Aska, and are there any similar festivals in Yggdrasil back home?
I mean, I love the Scion Festival. Like, obviously, there is a similar festival, but we haven't had it in quite a long time. So I think when I come back to Yggdrasil, I wanna make it a thing and make it a thing like every year. That would be amazing. But also the tea party. My dad had a tea party. He was at a tea party. I was like, this is so cool. He served me tea. It was delicious. Speaking of tea, it doesn't look like I have any tea here, unfortunately. That is a shame. Oh well. I was gonna have tea, but I was just like, you know what? It's okay. I don't need any tea right now. And this table is very cluttered, so I'm not sure where I'd put the tea.
Mm. Understandable.
Yeah.
There's a question here on what do you think about your siblings?
Ooh. Well, Julius very nice. I would have liked to get to know Julius before he was possessed by Loptier. But from what I've heard, he was pretty nice as well. And honestly, I feel like he would have been a great brother to have, and a great younger brother at that. I would have been like, yeah, he would have been great. I honestly don't fault him for what he did. Ultimately, ended up doing, he was, well, not himself to say the least, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just kind of wish things would have turned out a little differently, but sometimes things can't be helped. I'm glad Lewin taught me that one though, because otherwise I probably would have gone the rest of my life hating all of Leptirians for what they did to my dad and what they did to the rest of Yggdrasil, and well, not even my dad. It was kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Have
Yeah.
you gotten to speak to Julius and Asker at all?
I have actually, and he was kind of just looking at me all funny. He was like, I want you to go away. And I'm like, dude, I'm your brother. Please, can we just, like, not be mean to me? Please don't be mean. I'm just a baby. and
I'm just
and
a
he's
baby,
just
you
like,
say to your younger brother.
yeah, no, yeah, that was the interesting part. And he's just like,
It's very
what are you
accurate.
talking about, Seliph? You are not a baby. You're my older brother, except you're not really my brother. And I was like, dude, yes I am. Here's our family tree. And imagine there was a piece of paper there, I suppose. But yeah, I was just like, dude, come on. Can we be nice? He's eventually kind of warmed up to me a little bit, you know. Big Asker's kind of mellowing a lot of people out.
Mm-hmm. Um, oh, and then we have one here on how does it feel to meet the heroes from your father's army? You know, the kind of people that you would have only heard stories about growing up. And now you've been able to not only meet your father, but meet those companions that
Yeah.
helped him all those years ago.
Honestly, it's amazing. Honestly, it was really cool getting to meet Ira because I learned a lot of my swordplay techniques from Shannon, and Ira is just like another step above, and I'm just like, whoa, so cool. And um, oh my god, I actually recently got to meet Edane like in her younger days, so that was really cool. I was like, wow, do you remember me? And she's like, oh my god, you're grown up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm grown up.
I
Miss
imagine
me?
a lot of them probably fawn over you, to be honest.
Yeah, no, oh my god. Honestly, I've met so many of them, and honestly, a lot of them do live up to their tales. Some of them might be a little exaggerated, as many tales are, but also meeting Lewin in his younger days, again, was pretty cool. Um, his personality did seem a little bit different, though, which I found a little bit, odd at first, but then I remembered, wait, it's a little different. He's a little different. So, I'll be honest, I think that's part of it, but I miss Lewin.
Yeah.
I'm like, why did you have to leave? Why'd you have to just evaporate?
Which I guess is one of the upsides of Asker again, is that you can
Yeah.
speak to him again to an extent.
It was cool seeing him at the Scion Festival too, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did get to speak to him again. It was nice.
We have one here on if you and Julia had the opportunity to free Julius from Loptus's control completely, would you?
Oh, 100%. I have no idea how we'd do it, but we would do it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I would be 100% down to free Julius. And, maybe our introduction and Asker could have been a little nicer. I'm not exactly sure how the events would have played out in Yggdrasil, but I'm sure they would have been a little bit different. And, he probably would have met a better end,
Mm-hmm.
But also at the same time, I'm not even sure if that would work, because, you depossess him from Lopter. I feel like they're so ingrained. It's like, how
Mm-hmm.
far do you depossess somebody before
they're no longer themselves.
Dead. Yeah. Which is kind of where we were left, I mean, in our predicament, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if we had met him earlier, to be honest, I'm not sure if it would have been too late.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Have you got to meet, like, your more extended family, like your aunt and uncle, your cousin? Well, you already obviously knew your cousins, but did you get to meet? You obviously already know your cousins. They're not
like,
dead.
What?
But getting to meet Quan and Eflin.
Oh my god, yes. I was very happy to meet them. I was like, hey guys. And, you know, I got to meet them, like, in what they would have worn back in the day. And, you know, I also got to see them in their dancer attire, which was pretty cool. I thought they looked wonderful. You know, I never really got to meet Sias, in my travels, unfortunately, but I did get to meet him at Asker, so that was pretty cool. You know, I was like, hey, these people are pretty nice, and, you know, I got to obviously meet Leaf and Altena, like, hello.
So when it comes to maybe some of the other, like, great heroes and their companions from the other realms, were any of them in particular interesting to speak to and interact with in Asker?
From different realms, like
far beyond
can you...
Yggdrasil, like, you know,
oh,
like
yeah.
Arcnea, Elise, Vogler.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, they were pretty interesting as well. I did get to meet some of the characters, or the people. The characters? What are we talking about here? The people. I got to meet the people from Arcnea, and I did get to meet Marth, and I was like, wow, he has blue hair just like me. I wonder if we could be related. I thought that was kind of interesting. But then there's a lot of people with blue hair, you know, it's like, oh, okay, well, you're from Granville, you must be related. No, that's not how that works, you know, that's, yeah. But I was like, wow, he's so well-mannered and stuff, and, you know, I got to talk to a lot of, like, Prom and Lucina. I was like, wow, Lucina looks very similar to me. I was impressed. I was like, okay, all right, just a little darker shade of blue going on there in the hair, but, you know, I was like, okay, yeah, pretty similar, you know. Unlike me, you know, she actually kind of got to reunite with her father and, like, those sorts of people, but, you know, I was like, good for you. I did not get to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, honestly, I don't know how time travel shenanigans would have played out in Yggdrasil either. And I feel like it would have been a much different world. And I probably wouldn't have turned out the same, so...
I've also heard people tell tales that Crom is quite similar to your own father, actually.
Oh,
in his kind of rash-headedness approach to things.
Oh, yeah. I definitely would say so. I mean, I would say my dad wears a little bit more refined of attire, but personality-wise, yeah, I could definitely see it.
Well, people are pointing out that you and Lord Marth do look quite alike, with photo evidence.
Wow. I can't believe they actually put this in the magical window. I don't know how people are writing so fast either. That I have just been baffled about that this entire time. I don't understand it. I'm just gonna accept that's what it is. But wow, that is crazy.
Oh, and
I mean, it looks like he's got like a little crown, and I've got the wee headband. The hair is obviously, of course, tied back because it's a little longer. But yeah, we do look quite a bit alike. The resemblance is kind of uncanny.
I have heard theories of perhaps distant relations between some of the great heroes of old with each other. So who knows? Maybe a very distant relative.
Could be. I'm not really sure, though.
I believe we know he is from a time far after your own.
Oh. I mean, I guess that could make sense, but...
This is a fun one. Have you met with Arvis in your time in Asker? And was there much to be said with Lord Arvis?
You know, it was pretty scary and intimidating. I was like, okay. I didn't get to meet his emperor self, but I did get to meet his younger self, and I gotta say, he does seem pretty ambitious, so I'm not sure where his ambition went, to be honest, in the years that followed. What is this dog doing? Okay, he's eating things. Let me separate the dog from the chicken. Never mind. He ran off. He took care of himself. Anyway, back to Arvis. He's a little intimidating, a little scary. To be honest, he was like, "Who are you?" when I showed up for the first time, and I was like, "Oh, I'm Seliph, Sigurd's son. Does that ring a bell?" And he's like, he just got really angry after that, and I was like, "Okay, I'm not gonna talk to you. I'm not gonna talk to you. Goodbye. I am scared."
Did Sigurd find out about this interaction?
Oh yeah, I was like, "Dad, Arvis is being mean to me." And then afterwards, I was like, "Oh, well, look at that. He's a lot more pleasant. We even had tea together." I was like, "Okay. Well, I don't know what you said to him, but all of a sudden he's a lot calmer." Still kind of gave me grimaces across the table, which was still a little intimidating, but I just kind of was like, "Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna put up with this. You're not gonna look at me like that. You know? We are from different times. What do you want from me?" And I even called him out, and I was like, "Hey, you were a lot more approachable down the line when you matured."
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like sipping his tea. And I have a tea mug. And it just kind of fizzled from there, so to speak.
You did actually mention earlier that you're quite fond of tea. Any particular types of tea that you're fond of?
Well, I like a lot of different teas. I mean, I'm very familiar with black tea in my homeland. I love lots of different types of black tea. I love green tea. I've even tried a lot of other varieties in Asker. They even have oolong tea, and they have matcha, and they have so many different types of tea. But people from the Fortuna Empire, with the microwaves and stuff, those people, they were even talking about this thing called bubble tea, and I was like, "What's bubble tea? I've got to try this." But I don't know, it just sounds interesting because it's got these little pearls, I guess, at the bottom, and you sip them through a straw and you chew them, which is very different. Iced teas I've heard a lot about, but I normally drink my tea hot. I feel like an iced tea might be pretty good too, especially on a hot summer day. That might be pretty tasty.
Maybe you can convince the rest of your family to have either an iced tea or a bubble tea get together. I do love the idea of Sigurd and Seliph taking in bubble tea together.
I think that would be amazing. I've never tried it, so I don't know if it's any good, but wouldn't the iced tea be watered down? Also, where are you supposed to get snow? Because I would probably have to go out of my way to get some snow and to have iced tea. But I'm sure in Asker that could be a little easier. I mean, they've got people from Niffle right there. But, yeah. I'm not exactly sure how the concept would work in my homeland. Probably. Hey, I need some more ice. But maybe it might water it down. I don't know. Haven't tried it.
There are plenty of tea connoisseurs who can probably help you with that.
That's good to know. I mean, Foldland people, a lot of tea connoisseurs there, and they've introduced me alone to a lot of different types of tea, and I'm just like, whoa, oh my god, some are
the people of
a lot stronger than others.
Are also very inclined to enjoy tea.
Yeah, Yeah, they've definitely shared a few different teas as well.
There is a question here on, out of all the dragons in Asker, which would you say has been the most interesting to interact with?
Man, there's so many different dragons. I mean, out of a lot of them, I think it was really interesting to see two different kinds of tikis. There was like a child tiki, and then there was like a grown-up tiki, and I was like, what is going on here? That just kind of confused me more than anything. But they were both very nice, I must say. But I was like, there are two of them. And one of them is like a lot of the other younger types of dragons. I don't know why there are so many young dragons. I mean, I get their lifespan's a little bit different, but it's like, how are they like even able to like contain so much power, but they just act so childish, you know? It's like,
kind of sounds like Julius, to be honest.
yeah, no, literally. Kind of similar, except Julius is more like a teenager, but even so, it's like, hey.
He's very baby.
And I've even questioned that about myself when I was starting out. I was like, oh my god, am I... Okay, I'm freshly 18. Am I old enough to be doing this? Yes, you have no choice. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna be swinging at people. It's fine. Swinging for survival. Let's go.
Someone has created another painting somehow of you partaking in bubble tea.
Oh my god! That is so cute. I don't even know how these paintings keep coming up so fast.
It's very absolutely fast. Incredible.
The magic of this window. Or, I'm not exactly sure how it works, but window stuff.
Window.
And even in front of me, there's like this red light. Oh. It turns on and off.
So, do we have any more questions for our lovely Lord Seliph? I believe I've caught up with them in both of our magic windows at this point.
There's two of them?
There's another hidden one.
Oh my god. I have one. So I'm just sitting here like, you have two windows.
Oh, what is your horse named? That's a nice one.
Ooh. I haven't really told a lot of people about this, but I'm just like, it's a little embarrassing. But, my horse is named after my family heirloom. Oh. It's kind of not original, but I was like, you know what? One day I'll have this legendary Tyrfing. Also, my horse Tyrfing just cuts through the wind like no other. So I'm like, you know what? I think it fits. And he's a very lovely steed, very shiny fur. So I was like, yeah, it's a little embarrassing, I know, but
you would have been. You're still young. It is completely understandable.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There is another creation of a very accurate portrayal of you and Julius.
Oh my god. I'm just a baby. And then he's just like, you're oh my god.
Very accurate.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Very accurate portrayal of Julius having about the biggest baby face in the whole continent of Yggdrasil as well.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Had to move a couple of things. I think the dog likes... Not sure why. I've noticed some of the pets in Asker kind of do similar things. They'll just start eating, like, tables. Like, not the table themselves, but, like, the edges of, like, the dining room tables, and...
Oh.
They'll even eat clothing, and I'm just like, what? I don't know why they do that. And even um, some of the people from Fodlan were like, yeah, I've gotten a few bite marks from these creatures as well. And I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, this is a lovely one. How do you feel about Naga? They hear that Yggdrasil worshipped Naga as the god of light, similar to your ancestor Balder, but during the Great Battle within Granvale, you learned from Lewin that Naga's true identity is that of the ancient dragonkin from the faraway continent.
Yeah. I mean, I got to meet Naga and Asker, so that was really
Oh,
cool, but I've heard
that's a
about all the
whole other
legend.
level.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god. Couple different forms, and I'm just like, oh my god. Hi! And Naga's just like, hello, and very, very humble. I was surprised. You would think such a godlike being would have been, I don't know if Naga was a little girl. Probably. I mean, I was hearing tales of Naga being a bit younger in my time, but I got to meet an older Naga in Asker, which was really cool, but I mean, I was told that the legend of Naga is more or less a legend, so I never really went to verify that theory for myself, unfortunately. But even so, I got some confirmation in Asker that there indeed was a being called Naga.
Mm.
You know, and of course Lewin told me, but still, I was like, this is really cool. I like this. I am very humbled. I could just feel the power.
Oh yeah, the Far Continent does view Naga completely differently.
Wow.
Well, also, I
That's
guess
crazy.
these worships would have been, I believe you said before, about 1,000 years apart, which is
That I guess explains a little bit of
an
the changes
insane
there.
amount of time. Yeah, the faraway continent and time that Martha's from, about 1,000 years past your own time, which that must be very fascinating, seeing someone from the same actual world as you, just a different continent, from 1,000 years in the
Yeah.
future, and then we later on see Crom and Lucina from 3,000 years beyond that, even. And seeing these
It really
trickle
puts
down,
things into perspective.
and the trickle downs even from the dragons and gods of your time, continuing
I
on
honestly
even
thought
then.
technology would have evolved a lot more, but
You
it
would have
all
thought
kind of seems
so.
like we don't. Which
Yeah.
is kind of nice, so there's like, hey, you use swords too, right? Yeah, we do. Instead of like, whatever is going on with the the bubble tea people. I don't know how that happened and when it decided to shift, but it did. And I'm just like, whoa.
There's a
But
question.
yeah, it's kind of comforting to know that, hey, swords don't go out of style for a while.
Swords very, even in the microwave world, Itsuki is using a sword.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're right. It's just a little different looking. It's a little
He actually has his own
bells and
sword
whistles.
named Turfing as well that he can use.
No way.
There are many weapons actually in the microwave world. They can use the gay bulk, mistletoe, turfing. They look rather different to the ones in your world, but the same names, interestingly enough.
That is very interesting. I've even heard of similar instances in Elise, and I'm just like, what is going on? And even like comparing, like, I got to meet Ike and his Ragnall, and compared to Priam's Ragnall, are very different.
Mm.
And I'm just like, you just abused this poor weapon. But I wonder what happened to like the blood relation with like Irfing and Gabolg and Mistletoe, because it's like, did our bloodlines just kind of thin out so much that the restriction was eventually lost and the weapons changed shape, or did they just kind of get a bunch of upgrades through time, or I'm not exactly sure.
It's a difficult thing to figure out, isn't it?
I don't get it, but it's cool.
Oh, this one is nice. Which of your friends that hasn't shown up yet would you most like to see come to Asker soon?
I mean, Lana, of course, like, she was with me from the very beginning of time. I mean, I'm trying to think who else. There's a lot of people. Um, there's a lot of people still that I would like to see come to Asker. I know there was a few knights from Sigurd's army that still haven't shown up in Asker, but man,
Oh,
I don't really know.
oh, there is a.
Oh yeah, Oife. Oh my god, how could I have forgotten about Oife? Yeah, you know, Oife would be great to see. You know, I know Ishtar's shown up. Ishtar would be interesting to see. Trying to think. I know Hilda showed up, so Bloom. I know I'm going like in the Frigga route. Renee, I know she wasn't in the army, but I know she was in Tirnanog, so that would be very fun to see. Like some of the kind of my other people I've encountered on my journeys show up. Um, Man, there are still so many people. More versions of myself might give me an existential crisis, but it might be interesting to see.
Mhm.
It
Oh,
would be fun. I'd be like, hey, look, a new outfit.
there's a question about the area around Belhalla. I shall find the image for you that was posted. If you noticed any interesting marks on the ground around this area near Valhalla, maybe something that looked like some sort of meteor shower or something along those lines. It's a very specific question.
I've walked in that direction, when I did inevitably take over Gronvale, but I didn't really think too much of it. I was just like, okay, that's kind of weird how the grass is a little bit patchy here. It doesn't really grow the same as the other grass, but now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure that's where my dad's tragic end happened. I mean, I was told about that. And my dad even verified it. He's like, oh yeah, it happened right above Valhalla. And I was like, where the grass is at? He's like, what grass?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it's a little patchy. And then, it kind of clicked.
Oh, bless.
After I went to ask her. Yeah.
So, oh, that is an interesting one. Have you heard of maybe some other friends that you may have met under slightly different circumstances, such as, oh god, I can't say these names. Mern, Friednail, Dalvin.
Oh, yeah, I have heard of them. I mean, in my world, they kind of are not really in my army. They're just kind of. I mean, I don't really know them, but I've heard of them.
They must
And
exist somewhere.
Tina even told me about Linda because she's a little bit related to the Frigga family after all, but still, it was. I don't know. I haven't really met with them face to face.
Okay, and oh, this is a fascinating one. Do you ever wish that you could wield the Book of Naga like Julia can?
Honestly, I'm not very proficient in magic, so if I had a little more proficiency, I think it would be cool. As it stands right now, I would be very nervous to even wield basic magic, but it would be fun, kind of having a little weapon differentiation. Maybe, because I've noticed there's a couple different weapons that my dad has wielded even in Asker. He's like a little magic goblet. So I'm wondering if maybe like there'll be a version of me that can wield a little bit of magic. And then maybe I'll be like, hey, can you wield Naga? And they'll just be like, huh? I cannot wield Naga. I don't have the bloodline for it, really, but it would be hypothetically pretty cool if I could. You know?
We are running low on time now, so I'll say the next question should be our last for our dear Lord Seliph. Do we have any last minute questions to finish us off with? Oh, if you were an emblem ring like your father became, who would you want to wield you?
To be honest, I have absolutely no idea who would wield me, but I think it could be interesting if Alchrist wielded me. I mean, he's kind of like a little bit nervous, and I could be like, "Hey, it's okay. I've been there before. You know, let's get through this together." And that could have been really interesting. You know, that's like kind of the ones. That's kind of one of the Alios people I can think off the top of my head for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people are agreeing with Alchrist. They think it would be a good fit.
Yeah.
He's a very, very sweet boy, and I think that would work well.
Yeah, I think so.
And with that, I think we're gonna have to bid adieu to Seliph. Unfortunately, because of scheduling things, we have to finish like a handful of minutes early compared to what we would have liked to do, because we have to set up for another set of special guests. But thank you so much for coming here, and thank you so much to everyone in chat for all the amazing questions.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Would you like to plug anything before we?
Okay, now I'm actually gonna break character for like 2 seconds. It's time.
Would you like to plug?
But I mean, you can follow me at Pretty Dragon at bluesky.social. You can check out my YouTube channel when I decide I want to post something there. I'll probably announce, hey, I want to post something. Maybe I mean, I know you guys are going to post the VOD, but it would be fun to kind of do like a little continuation of this, or like even some other stuff on my own time, you know? And then I'd be like a little more polished. That'd be great. I'm like, oh, I'm live. Mom, come pick me up. I'm scared, but I did it. Yippee!
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, and people on Twitch are
oh my god, everyone's saying thank you. Now I don't have to pretend I don't know what this magic window is. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, what is this magic window? But I was like checking chat, like, and seeing the pictures for myself, and I'm just like, ooh, this is nice. And I saw the little Julius head pat gifs in Discord. I was like, oh my god, and the little drawings that Che drew and that PK, or not PK, who the Lee drew. Damn, I'm small brained. But yeah, it was really nice having me. I hope the next stream goes well. I might tune in and like watch it.
It's a Fire Emblem Guess Who, so.
Oh, okay, I'm locking in.
Yeah, thank you so much, and
yes.
Yeah, to everyone here, I've realized I'm actually still streaming on Twitch, rip.
Oh my god.
So yeah, to everyone here, we'll be back in a little over 5 minutes with the Fire Emblem Guess Who. That's why we had to like stop 2 minutes early, because I have to set up for that one as well. Because to people who don't remember, this was a reschedule of the original Seliph cosplay.
Yeah.
Timestamp, so it just meant that we had to finish like about 5 minutes early. So thank you so much everyone for watching, and we'll be back in a few minutes with Fire Emblem Guess Who. All right, thank you.